The hashtag #MeToo campaign, I guess, is going on right now, where people are sharing their experiences with sexual harassment and assault. Now, this shouldn't really be a debatable thing, but this is the internet, where everyone is concerned with one-upping each other and themselves. So many of the debates I see on the internet, I believe, are caused because nobody really knows what it's like to live as the opposite sex. The only real solution is for us to change bodies for a month, Freaky Friday style, so we know what each other faces. And yes, you must leave your house, you nasties. But since that's not an option, I am going to try to explain women's concerns as well as men's concerns the best I can in this video. Maybe not perfect because I am a woman and lack perspective after all. I think many men are concerned that sexual harassment is defined too broadly. Many of them may know somebody or may have gotten in trouble themselves over little tiny things. Simply looking at a woman or asking her out on a date, given that he backs off if she says no, are not examples of real sexual harassment. However, clear-cut examples of sexual harassment are far too common. Some examples may include your boss exposing himself to you, sending you unwanted sexually explicit messages, asking for sexual favors as a condition of employment. You get the point. I've seen some people concerned that sexual harassment and sexual assault are getting grouped in with each other under Me Too. Sexual harassment and sexual assault are both bad. Sexual harassment tends to imply verbal, whereas sexual assault tends to imply physical. Physical is clearly worse, so I do think there needs to be some clarification there. I think many men are concerned with false rape accusations. How common they are, that's up for debate, but there are examples of women who completely consent the night of, then wake up the next morning, regret it, and call it rape, or crazy ex-girlfriends who accuse the man of rape because of revenge. Of course, everyone deserves due process. A false rape accusation could destroy somebody's life. It is important to make sure that the accuser is telling the truth. That said, just because some women lie doesn't mean all women lie. There are many clear cases of rape, way too many. I think many men get frustrated that campaigns like Me Too tend to focus on female victims. It should be said that men can be sexually harassed and assaulted by women and other men. Many men are raped in prison. It's a shame that when men come out with their stories, they're often mocked and laughed at, called gay, oh yeah bro, you wanted it, that kind of thing. I've seen some men comment on threads of a woman sharing her story and accuse her of blaming all men. I do not deny that there are some crazy feminists out there saying ridiculous things, trying to put this all on all men, so I understand why somebody would be so defensive. However, the majority of women I've seen who are sharing their stories are only blaming that one man in her story. Reasonable women that you ask will say most men they encounter do not sexually harass or abuse them. I've seen some men say, oh, if she didn't report that story years ago, then she must have not cared that much about it. There can be cost to reporting, especially if the man is in a position of power. Many women worry about her reputation. They don't want to be smeared as a liar and a whore who is doing this for attention, losing out on paid gigs because you're a troublemaker, getting blackmailed, him and his friends possibly seeking revenge. She worries about her safety. Some women just find it easier just to move on with their lives rather than engage in a lengthy court battle where she has to live the night over and over. And we don't live in a system that rewards anything to the victims. The best reason to report is possibly preventing future victims, but besides that, there's so many cons to consider. Men and women often have different perspectives because we face and experience such different things. We'll truly never know what it's like to live in other shoes, but at least maybe we could try to listen to each other every once in a while. I don't know, just a suggestion.